Greetings, welcome to this new video about mesh analysis method. Solve the problem number 5. Given the electric circuit with R1, R2 and R3 are all equal to 20 ohms, R4, R5 and R6 are all equal to 30 ohms, and we have two voltage sources, V1 is equal to V2 is equal to 80 volt. The question now is using mesh analysis method to calculate the current I and the voltage V. Let's go to the solution. We start with mesh number 1 by applying Kirchhoff's voltage law. In mesh number 1 we can write negative V1 plus R2IA plus R4IA minus IC plus R1IA minus IB. By replacing the resistors and the voltage with their numerical value, we obtain negative 80 plus 20 IA plus 30 IA minus IC plus 20 IA minus IB is equal to 0. If we continue simplifying this equation, we obtain 70 IA minus 20 IB minus 30 IC minus 80 is equal to 0. After we finish from mesh 1, we go to mesh 2. By applying Kirchhoff's voltage law in mesh 2, we can write negative V2 plus R1 IB minus IA plus R5 IB minus IC plus R3 IA IB is equal to 0. By replacing the resistors and the voltage with their numerical value, we obtain negative 80 plus 20 IB minus IA plus 30 IB minus IC plus 20 IB is equal to 0. If we continue simplifying this equation, we obtain negative 20 IA plus 70 IB minus 30 IC minus 80 is equal to 0. We go now to mesh 3. By applying KVL in mesh 3, we can write R4 IC minus IA plus R6 IC plus R5 IC minus IB is equal to 0. By replacing the resistors with their numerical values, we obtain 30 IC minus IA plus 30 IC plus 30 IC minus IB is equal to 0. If we continue simplifying this equation, we obtain negative IA minus IB plus 3 IC is equal to 0. Finally, we obtain the three equations which are necessary to find IA, IB and IC. We still only need to solve those equations to obtain IA, IB and IC. Let's start first with equation 1 plus 7 multiply equation 3. We obtain 7IA minus 2IB minus 3IC minus 8 minus 7IA minus 7IB plus 21IC is equal to 0. We have 7IA and 7IA, they cancel each other. Finally, we obtain negative 9IB plus 18IC minus 8 is equal to 0. And we can write IC in terms of IB is equal to 8 plus 9IB over 18. And I will call this equation A. I go now to equation 1 minus equation 2. We obtain 9IA minus 9IB. Finally, we obtain IA is equal to IB. And I will call this equation B. By substituting A and B in 3, we derive an equation that exclusively relates to IB. If we continue simplifying this equation, we have negative 6IB minus 6IB plus 8 plus 9IB is equal to 0. Finally, we obtain negative 3IB plus 8 is equal to 0. then IB is equal to 8 over 3 is equal to 267 amps. From B, we have IA is equal to IB. That means IA is equal to 267 amps. And from equation A, we have IC is equal to 8 plus 9 IB over 18. We obtain finally IC is 16 over 9 is equal to 178 amps. We know that IC is equal to I. That means I is equal to 178 amps. And finally, the voltage according to Ohm's law is R6 multiplied by IC is equal to 53.33 volt. After we finish calculation, we have done simulation using SPICE simulator in order to verify our calculation. Let's go together to the SPICE simulator environment in order to check our calculation. Here is the circuits done by the SPICE simulator. We see here V1 80 volt, V2 80 volt, and we have R2 20, R1 20, and R3 20, R4 30 volt, 30 ohms, R5 30 ohms, and R6 30 ohms, and we connect here a voltmeter to measure the voltage by the resistor R6. Let's go to analysis. This analysis calculate nodal voltage, and we can see here that IB is equal to IA is 267 amps, and we have I is equal to IC is 178 amps, and we have the voltage V is 53.33 volt, exactly the value we have done by calculation. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any question, do not hesitate to contact me by email or leave a comment under this video, and I will answer you as soon as possible. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and to share the video. See you next time in another example about mesh current method. Have a nice time and bye bye.